गुड मॉर्निंग गाइस और आपका स्वागत है मेरे चैनल एडवेंचर विद संजय में। आज तारीख है 18 जनवरी 18 जनवरी, सुबह के 5 बजे है। कल हम शाम को तकरीबन 7 सवा 7 बजे हमारी सेलिंग शुरू हो गई थी उशवाया पोर्ट से, और हम बीगल चैनल से होते हुए मेन सी में आ गए थे और रात के करीब 12-1 बजे डायरेक्ट पैसेज में एंटर कर गए थे। अब रात को तो मैं सो गया था, बहुत जल्दी थका हुआ था, मेरे ख्याल से पूरे शिप में सभी लोग सो गए थे, तो हमें रोलिंग का या पिचिंग का पता नहीं लगा। मेरे को तो हुआ भी है या नहीं हुआ, लेकिन अभी सुबह के 5 बजे मेरी नींद खुल गई। आवाज़ें आ रही थी खड़खड़ खड़खड़, कमरे में कुछ सामान इधर से उधर, उधर से इधर जा रहा था। तो फिर मैंने कहा चलो देखते हैं उठ के। तो अभी मैं आपको नज़ारा दिखाता हूँ रूम में। तो इस समय काफ़ी आपकी ना बोट मतलब शिप हिल रहा है, लेफ़्ट राइट लेफ़्ट राइट लेफ़्ट राइट हो रहा है ये। और अभी आप यहाँ पे ना खड़े होएंगे तो आपको ऐसे ना हाथ का सहारा लेना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो आप गिर सकते हो। तो ये एकदम ना, ये पता नहीं अब इसमें कैमरे में पता लग रहा है नहीं लग रहा है, शिप बहुत ज़्यादा रोल कर रहा है और बाहर ना बहुत तेज़ हवा है। एक तो मैं टोपी पहन लेता हूँ। तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि बालकनी का दरवाज़ा खोलूँ या ना खोलूँ, आपको दिखाने के लिए। इधर मैं अभी आपको रूम के अंदर से बाहर का नज़ारा दिखाता हूँ। जब तक बिस्तर में था ना मैं ठीक फील कर रहा था। अभी मैं बाहर निकला हूँ, ब्रश किया और एक थोड़ा सा पानी पिया, 2 ही घूंट। अभी पेट में वो पानी घूम रहा है एकदम। आपको मैं बाहर दिखाता हूँ जाके। थोड़ा सा बहुत ठंड है, हवा बहुत तेज़ चल रही है। अब ये देखो यहाँ पे ना, ये डोर का हैंडल है पूरा, ये वाला हैंडल है। वाइट में वाइट दिख नहीं रहा है, ये पूरा आपको 180 घुमाना पड़ता है नीचे और काफ़ी दम लगाना पड़ता है। जैसे ये दरवाजे का हैंडल ऐसे किया ना, आवाज़ देख रहे हो आप, हवा की कितनी तेज़ आ रही है, और इसको बहुत कस के खोलना पड़ता है ऐसे। ये देखिए, ओ उड़ रहा हूँ मैं एकदम। यहाँ देखो क्या बुरा हाल है सी का। अच्छी खासी रोलिंग चल रही है। आज का पूरा दिन ना ऐसे ही जाने वाला है। मेरे को देखना है आपको, ये देखो कैसे कैसे हवा चल रही है एकदम। मैं ना इसका सहारा लेके खड़ा हूँ और ऐसे ना थोड़े दोनों टांगों को ना फैला के आपको खड़ा होना चाहिए। आपको मैं बाहर दिखाता हूँ। ये देखिए, मैं ना शिप के पीछे वाले हिस्से में हूँ। ये देखो शिप कितना नीचे गया। ओ माय गॉड, अब ये कितना ऊपर आया। इसमें ना दोनों चल रही है, रोलिंग भी चल रही है, पिचिंग भी चल रही है। ये शिप शिप शायद एंगल चेंज कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, थोड़ा सा ऐसा जा रहा है, मेरे को लग रहा है राइट की तरफ जा रहा है ये। अच्छा, जब वो ऐसे ऐसे जाता है ना, शायद इसको पिचिंग बोलते हैं, तो ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है। ऐसे ऐसे में ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम होती है, इसको रोलिंग बोलते हैं, जो मैं मोस्ट लाइकली करेक्ट ही हूँ। तो अभी तो पिचिंग ज़्यादा हो रही है। ये देखो ना, ये उठा, ये गया, तो यहाँ पर ये लहरें देखो। और ये शिप का पीछे का हिस्सा है। बस ना शिप ख़त्म ही हो गया। मेरे पीछे बस वो 2 कमरे और हैं, फिर शायद स्वीट है या क्या है, जो भी है। ये देखो क्या बुरा हाल है। यहाँ से गिम्बल छूट जाए ना हाथ से तो नीचे जाएगा सीधा। अभी थोड़ा सा शांत हुआ है। अभी तो देखो मैं आराम से खड़ा हूँ। अभी ना पिचिंग शुरू हो गई है, तो पिचिंग में इतनी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, रोलिंग में है। अब मैं रूम के अंदर जा रहा हूँ यार, और मेरे को ना जाके बैठना है इसको। ये देखो बहुत दम लगता है इसको बंद करने में, बहुत भारी दरवाज़ा है ये। अब इसको ऐसे ये हो गया बंद, और ये हो गया हैंडल बंद। अभी तो एकदम अंदर शांति हो गई है। अभी यहाँ से अब रूम देखो ज़रा, अभी कितना कोजी कोजी हो गया इधर। अभी यहाँ ना दोनों मिक्सचर चल रही है। अब रोलिंग एंड पिचिंग दोनों का मिक्सचर चल रहा है। चलो दोस्तों, मैं घुस रहा हूँ वापस अपने बेड में, क्योंकि मेरे को थोड़ा सा ना यहाँ ऐसे थोड़ा अनकंफर्टेबल लग रहा है। इससे पहले कि चक्कर आए और उल्टी आने का प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो जाए ना, बेड में चलता हूँ, क्योंकि ये तो रात से चल रहा है और रात में तो मैंने महसूस ही नहीं किया था। तो अभी इसी अपने ब्लैंकेट में जाता हूँ। आज तो दोस्तों पूरा दिन गुजर गया, मेरा हालत ख़राब थी क्योंकि शिप बहुत रोल कर रहा था। अभी थोड़ा सा शांत हुआ है। अब रात के बज गए 11 और आप देख रहे हो कितनी चांदनी है यहाँ। इस समय हम डायरेक्ट शेक में हैं, मतलब ये डायरेक्ट पैसेज है ना, अटलांटिक और पैसिफिक ओशन को जोड़ते हुए, उसको डायरेक्ट पैसेज बोलते हैं और ये बहुत ही इनफेमस है। तो जब ऐसे ये इसको डायरेक्ट लेक और डायरेक्ट पैसेज ऐसे करके बोलते हैं। डायरेक्ट लेक का मतलब शिप शांत है, और डायरेक्ट शेक का मतलब शिप सी बहुत हिल रहा है। सी हिलेगा तो शिप भी हिलेगा। ये सामने सनसेट दिख रहा है, लेकिन ऐसा कोई अमेजिंग तो नहीं है। लेकिन हाँ थोड़ा डिफरेंट सा है ये। अब देख लें रात के 11 बजे भी कितनी चांदनी है यहाँ पर। और ये देखिए ये हम लेवल 10 पे हैं इस समय, तो इसको ये एक्सप्लोरेशन डेक भी बोलते हैं। तो यहाँ बैठ के आप ड्रिंक्स वगैरह ले सकते हैं, कॉकटेल वगैरह ले सकते हैं। पीछे वो लाइव म्यूज़िक चल रहा है। और ये यहाँ पे बार है, आप यहाँ पे बहुत ऑप्शंस हैं आपकी ड्रिंक्स के लिए, और कॉफ़ी भी ले सकते हैं, कॉकटेल्स ले सकते हैं। मैनी ब्रांड्स ऑफ लिकर्स आर देयर। अब ये देखो मैं चलने में भी मुझको मुश्किल हो रहा है। तो आज बहुत ही कम मैं कवर किया क्योंकि मैं एवोमिन लेके सो रहा था। तो ये
back up again. For obvious safety reasons, you cannot be under the influence of any medical drugs or alcohol. And then there is a waiver for everybody to sign at the end. That will be your sign up. Minimum age for the kayaking is 12 years old, and any minors must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. Then we have some weather requirements. We obviously don't want to go out in conditions like we have right now. So as a company requirement, we're not allowed to go out with winds of more than 7 meters per second, and we need to have good visibility. We will always look at the forecast the day prior, but it has happened more than once that the forecast is calling for like really calm conditions, and we get to the destination and the wind is blowing like 10-12 meters a second. So anytime you see the kayaking scheduled, it is subject to weather conditions. Sometimes we have to postpone it a little bit if we just have to wait for say like the fog to clear up, or if it's really windy, then we might have to schedule it and then all of the groups move forward. The total activity will be scheduled for like 3.5 hours on the program, but it includes the handout of the gear that we provide. It also includes like the kayak briefing, where we talk about like how to pedal the kayak, where we show you how to get in and out of the kayak. So the actual time on the water is about 75 to 90 minutes that you will be kayaking during this 3-hour window. We have a guest to guide ratio of 1 to 8, meaning that like we will usually be on the water with 2 guides and 16 guests. And like all of us are like certified guides that have guided in quite a few places around the world, and all of us have done quite a few trips in Antarctica at this point as well. If you are a solo traveler who would like to kayak, or if you are traveling with someone that doesn't want to kayak, you can just sign up as an individual and we will pair you with somebody else to paddle with. But you will always be in a tandem kayak with one other paddlers. Like none of you will be in a single kayak. Then there's some IAATO guidelines that we will have to follow. There will be more about that in the IAATO briefing later today. But we want to make sure we don't litter, don't leave anything behind. So only like take pictures. We don't collect anything from the ground or from the water when we're out there. Please don't approach any animals. Like we don't want to disturb the wildlife. We want to stay at a safe distance. If we have any animals like crossing in front of us, we will give them the right of way. And please don't like make any sounds or put your hands in the water to attract any animals if you see them close to you. with a fleece base layer. So we do recommend, depending on how cold it is and how sensitive you are to cold weather, to either wear like your personal like base layers like underneath. So if you have like a merino wool like base layer, like any wool or anything underneath, just wear that underneath. Then wear the fleece over it, and then the dry suits. Important though, please don't wear any cotton. Like if you start sweating and the cotton gets wet, it doesn't keep you warm anymore. And that's why like a common expression in the outdoor industry is like cotton kills. You want to make sure that you have something that like carries the moisture away from your body. So then this is the dry suits that you will be provided with, that Elliot is holding right here. Those come in sizes ranging from small to double XL. And we will hand those out on the day of the activity, and we'll talk more about that when we hand out the gear. Then you will be provided with a set of kayak boots. Again, those come in a variety of sizes, actually from 36 to about 48 European or 5 to 14 US. Anytime you wear the dry suit, please make sure you right away put on these boots. We don't want people to walk around with them and then create a hole in the socks, because then it becomes a wetsuit instead of a dry suit. Then we will also provide you with a personal flotation device, again available in different sizes, and they all come with a whistle as well if you need to get our attention in case of a emergency. There's pockets in the front. Elliot really missed like his modeling career, as you can see right here. You can use that to put in like a cell phone or a small camera if you want. Just be aware these pockets are not waterproof, so in the unlikely event that your PFD gets wet, whatever is inside will get wet as well. But you will also be provided with one small dry bag per boat. So like if you want to put like your phone or anything in there, you can. We do recommend if you bring your phone to have it in like one of those waterproof like cases with a leash, so that you reduce the chances of losing it on the water. Then when you get your paddle, each paddle will have a set of pogies attached to it, which will help keep your hands warm. We cannot emphasize this enough. When we hand you the paddle, please make sure you keep an eye on where the pogies are. Often people will accidentally, when they grab the paddle in the first 10 seconds, hold the paddle sideways and the bogey will be in the water right away, and you'll be on the water with a wet bogey. So just make sure you don't dip those in the water right at the start. Things like paddling technique we will go over when we get everybody set up with their kayaks. Then we do have some small optional gloves as well, but if you have any like thin gloves that you can bring with you, I do recommend to bring those. But if you have like really like bulky gloves, then just wear the ones we provide. It's a little uncomfortable to wear those while kayaking. Then this is what we ask all of you to bring when you come down for the kayaking. So as mentioned, like wear like the wool like socks and underwear. Wear like a hat or a cap to keep your head and ears warm. Bring sunglasses, put on some sunscreen before we go out. We are only on the water for about like 75 to 90 minutes, so a water bottle is not essential, but it is good to have some water with you. Then in your cabins, you should have seen some of these white slippers. When you come back from the kayaking, we will collect the dry suits again. And the kayak boots, so we recommend to bring the slippers to walk back to the cabin so that you keep dry feet. As mentioned, you can bring a camera or phone to take some photos, and if you have any personal medication that you might need on the water, then we do recommend to bring it as well. White tandem kayaks, they're easy to enter, quite a wide open cockpit. And the person sitting in the back is the one that has the foot pedals that you can see in the bottom right corner. And this is how the person in the back steers the kayak. So we do recommend the stronger, heavier or more experienced paddler to sit in the back. And then by using the foot pedals, left foot forward, both will go to the left, right forward, both will go to the right, and it will control the rudder that you see in the back at the bottom photo right there. Even with all of the instructions, Sometimes people struggle with it in the beginning, so sometimes these boats are also referred to as the divorce boats. But you all look like confident, experienced paddlers, so I have high expectations of all of you. So then this is a video right here showing you how we will be getting into the kayak. So we will take the Zodiac out as mentioned. We will then pull up a kayak alongside the Zodiac. Two of our team members will hold the kayak for you to help stabilize it. And then one person at a time will be able to sit down on the tube of the Zodiac, turn their legs over the Zodiac, and then you can either sit on the back of the coaming, like the area right behind the seat, or like this person does, you can slide straight into the seat like this. And then after that you will be handed the pedal. Oh. And then like once you are in the kayak, one of the guides will always be the first one to get on the water. Once both of you are in the kayak, we will then hand you the paddle, and then you can paddle over to the guide. We'll wait till everybody is on the water, and then we will start the excursion. And then when we finish the excursion, we do the exact same in the opposite order. It's funny, the same video is actually twice in here. The second one is probably playing backwards. So then, like just a couple do's and don'ts. What to do in that case. Guides will always be close by, so if this happens, the guides will be right there to assist you. But basically, just push yourself out of the kayak and swim free. This is a step usually people skip automatically, because once the kayak is a little bit sideways, people tend to already like launch themselves out of the boat. And then just remain calm, breathe through your nose, and hold on to the paddle and kayak, because you will need those again. And then just listen to the instructions of the guide or crew available. So then we have a video right here. These are two of our guides in a staged environment. I'll just move a little bit out here so everybody can see the screen. So like hold on to the kayak, the guide will paddle up beside you. Even the computer is seeing a little green. And then the guide will just instruct one person at a time to climb up on the back of the kayak, throw one leg into the cockpit, and then keep your center of gravity as close as possible to the deck. You can then slide around, and then the next person can get in. We do carry some pumps. If there's any water inside the boat, we can like pump it out. And if there's a lot of water inside, we will actually drain the kayak before we ask you to get back in. Then manually enter all of the registrations in the system. And then it will be a random draw. The system will automatically generate a list with like 16 people. So in the beginning of the trip, we will post the first like 2-3 groups, and then once they have gone out, then we will run the next draw, and like there will be additional groups posted. The question is always, how many groups will you take out? Reality is, we don't know. It depends on weather conditions. It depends on like the winds, on like the sea ice, on visibility. I've seen it trips with as many as 10 groups when we had like perfect weather conditions throughout the trip. I've also seen trips where we had like windy conditions throughout the trip, and we only took out like 3 or 4 groups. So it's really like depending on the conditions. If you see the first like list being published, and you see like the 3 groups and your cabin is not on the list, don't worry, we did get your registration. It just means we haven't generated the other lists yet. But you can see the lists in the daily program in the app. You will be able to see by cabin number who is going with which group. The times will be posted in the daily program, but these are subject to change. Sometimes we arrive at the destination a little bit later if we encounter like more challenging like weather conditions, or if there's been a lot of like sea ice overnight. In that case, just listen to the announcements, but otherwise, if the activity goes ahead as scheduled, there will be no announcement. So in that case, just come down at the scheduled time in the app, and then we'll provide you with all the gear and get you started.
And work our way upwards. Then we are also sheltered between the islands and mainland on the peninsula, so until we cross the Drake again, it should be quite calm on board. So for you are happy about that, I do understand. And for those who are still watching from their on anything else, so it is very special also in sense of collaboration between nations. Antarctica is then dedicated as a natural reserve to peace and science. Since 1991, the Antarctic Treaty Parties adopted the so-called Protocol on Environmental Protection to the Antarctic. The IAATO members, as we are committed to supporting the work of the treaty through their participation in development of systems, operational procedures, to manage permitted authorized tourism activities. And we are actually the eyes of the Antarctic Treaty on the ground. So we give our feedback to the Antarctic Treaty about what places need extra protection, what new guidelines could be implemented to preserve the nature, and thus we are actually part of making the guidelines that all visitors have to follow. We have several posters around the ship that also explains these different guidelines. So do have a look at them. They are outside the restaurant and in other places on board. And then you can read also up on the different guidelines there. But we will go through the most important ones is in this presentation. So this presentation that we will now give you is then sent out together with the IAATO members and the Antarctic Treaty, and is then mandatory for all visitors. Meaning we will check you off this list that we have, our passenger manifest, and then we need also to send this in so that the Antarctic Treaty as well sees that we have followed the protocols and briefed all our guests accordingly. Antarctica is the largest wilderness area on Earth, and we need all our help and all your help to keep it neat and tidy also for the future generations. And very important that we all follow the guidelines set. The crew on board, expedition team, the medical team, the bridge team, hotel, and also our able seamen have all gone through courses and training to be allowed to work in Antarctica. So we are the prolonged arm of the Antarctic Treaty to make sure that we all follow these guidelines. So do listen to our instructions when you are on the boats or on land. We are the ones that make sure that we all follow the rules. And although it is set guidelines, they are actually not voluntary. So it is the laws of Antarctica. So they are called guidelines, but it is the rules and regulations that we need to follow.